What's going on, Guardians? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Autrysnipe, and today we're going to be talking about this crazy Arc Hunter melee ability class. Up first is going to be the super, which is going to be Gathering Storm. Basically have a huge arc staff that you can stick to practically anything. You'll have an area effect. You'll be able to jolt nearby targets and be able to just do incredible damage. This is going to pair really well with not only going to be our exotic, which is going to be the Assassin's Cow, but you're going to want it to be Arc Energy as well for hands-on, which is gaining bonus super energy on melee kills. And this is going to be either in the second or third mod slot. But in the fourth mod slot, I like to put Well of Ions, which is picking up an Arc Elemental Well, causes your next melee to deal increased damage. Now, if you guys don't know, Assassin's Cow, the exotic perk for this is powered melee final blows grant invisibility. So yes, now you're going to be an Arc Hunter, but you're also going to have somewhat of a void build with this. Not only will you grant invisibility, but this also restores a portion of your health and shield. But an even plus is finishers and final blows against more powerful targets increase the duration of the invisibility and the amount of health and shields restored. So let's get right into the abilities with the Gambler's Dodge, which allows you to fully recharge your melee ability when you dodge near enemies. For the jump, I like to use triple jump, but you can use whatever jump you see fit. Now, what we're really looking for in the abilities is going to be the combination blow arc melee. This is a quick strike that temporarily increases your melee damage when defeating a target. This also stacks 3 times. And defeating targets with this ability also fully refills your class ability energy and restores a small amount of health. For our next ability is going to be Pulse Grenade. Now, this is going to be a little bit better than the Storm Grenade because we're not Titans, guys, so our Storm Nades don't travel to enemies. So the Pulse Grenade I've been using quite often, which is periodically damaging targets within its explosive radius. Now, this is going to pair really well with our Arc Gauntlets. And in the third mod slot or second mod slot, we're wanting to put Momentum Transfer. So causing damage with our grenade reduces our melee cooldown. And in the fourth mod slot with your gauntlets, we're going to be putting on Melee Wellmaker. Powered melee combatant final blows spawn elemental wells matching your subclass energy type. So let's jump right back in to the aspects. Up first is going to be Flow State. Defeating a jolted target makes you amplified, but while you are amplified, your dodge recharges more quickly, you are more resilient while dodging, and your reload speed is greatly increased. For the second aspect, we're going to be putting on Lethal Current. After dodging, your next melee attack has increased lunge range. This also jolts targets and creates a damaging aftershock, but damaging any jolted target with your melee attack also blinds them. Let's get the chest piece out of the way. Whatever energy type you want, as long as you do have in the fourth mod slot another Melee Wellmaker. Now let's jump back into the fragment. Up first, we're gonna have Spark of Feedback. Taking melee damage briefly increases your outgoing melee damage. Since we're gonna be up close and personal, having that little bit of increase to melee damage is going to help out. And in our second fragment is going to be Spark of Resistance. While surrounded by combatants, you are more resistant to incoming damage. That way you don't get one tapped by a champion or a bunch of other ads. And since you're going to be running around and possibly not picking up your wells, go ahead and for your leg armor, make that Arc Energy. And for the fourth mod slot, we're going to want to put on Seeking Wells. Elemental wells you create move across the ground towards nearby players such as you and allies. And in the third slot or the second slot, I like to put on Invigoration, which is reduced melee cooldown each time I pick up an overpower. And also Absolution, that reduces all ability cooldowns each time I pick up an Orb of Power. Now for the third fragment is going to be Spark of Brilliance. Defeating a blinded target with a precision damage creates a blinding explosion, so that way we're going to be able to blind all of the ads around us. And for the last fragment, we're going to be put on Spark of Ions. Defeating a jolted target creates an ionic trace. This is going to pair with our very last portion. That way it all comes together, guys, is going to be our Hunter Cloak. We're going to want that solar energy for Bountiful Wells. If you guys don't know, elemental well mods that cause you to spawn elemental wells can now stack. This will spawn additional wells for each copy of the same mod you have equipped. Then in the second or third slot, I like to put on bomber, since I'm going to be using my grenade, reduces grenade cooldown when using your class abilities. And if I'm going into something endgame, such as we're champions, I like to put on the lucent finisher. Defeating a lucent hive barrier or a champion with a finisher spawns heavy for you and your allies. Now here's the tough part, guys. Is this ready for grandmasters? And I would say yes and also no. This build has been used to break grandmaster records, but those are also a team of players, and I have had a bunch of friends who have helped out in grandmasters, and this build they felt like they were useless in it. But all in all, this is a very fun build. I would suggest if you're going to take this in endgame PvE content, use it at your own risk, but in all the other content, I had a blast with this, using these abilities and this whole class in general. So I would like to give you guys a huge thanks. Thank you guys for all the support that you guys have given me. If you guys are new here and you guys want more builds, if you guys are hunters, check out the solar builds and also the infinite invis build videos that I have in the boxes right up above. And if you guys are not hunter mains, I do make builds for warlocks and titans out there. So if you guys like it, like I said, make sure to sub and like the video, and I'll catch you guardians out there. Peace.